Hello and welcome back to Dr. Polyglot's English podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Polyglot, and I'm so glad you could join us today. I have a fantastic guest with me, Oliver. Oliver, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Thank you for the coffee. I'm still a little jet lagged from my flight from San Francisco yesterday.
Yeah, that's understandable. Changing time zones can be tough. How many hours was the time difference? I forgot.
So, San Francisco is 3 hours behind New York. When it is 4 o'clock p.m. in New York, it is 1 o'clock p.m. in San Francisco.
Oh, that's right. Pacific time versus Eastern time. Jet lag can be frustrating. One day we need to do a podcast on that. But today we're going to dive into a different topic, one that affects almost everyone who lives in or visits a big city: public transportation, specifically traveling by bus and subway.
What a great topic. I hailed a yellow cab to get here. I just wanted the experience. The cab got stuck in traffic, which reminded me why I prefer public transportation when traveling around the city. I definitely have some stories to tell.
I'm sure you do. So let's start with the basics. If you have to get around the city, what's your preferred method? Are you a bus person or a subway person?
That's easy. I'm 100% a subway person. For me, it's all about efficiency. I want to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible, and you just can't beat the subway for that. No traffic, no waiting at red lights, you just get on and go.
Right. No traffic is a huge plus.
And also, I always look for the express train versus the local one. Instead of stopping on every stop like the local train, the express stops every 2-3 stops.
That makes sense. I can see the appeal. Sometimes street performers get on the subway to try to make some money. Most Americans are used to driving everywhere, so getting on the subway and watching young guys breakdancing or playing the trumpet can be quite an experience. That being said, I'm actually more of a bus person, which I know is not the popular opinion.
Really? You're willing to deal with the traffic?
I am, because I love being able to look out the window. On a bus, you get to see the city. You see the neighborhoods change. You see people walking their dogs. You see the architecture. On the subway, all you see is a dark tunnel.
That's a fair point. It's like a mini city tour every time you ride.
Exactly. It feels less claustrophobic to me, but it does require more patience. You have to build in extra time.
I can imagine.
Speaking of buses, there have been some changes with the bus fares in New York City. You don't need to buy a special card to get on the bus. You can just wave a credit card in front of the scanner, and it automatically charges you the fare. You can also use a credit card saved in your digital wallet on your phone.
Wow, that's very convenient. By the way, there is something I found very strange about New York City buses. They don't stop on every stop. Once I wanted to get to Saks Fifth Avenue, it completely skipped that stop and took me to Grand Central.
Well, first, the bus doesn't automatically stop at every bus stop. If you want to get off, you have to signal to the driver.
Oh, right. How do you do that? Do you just shout, "Next stop, please"?
You could, but there's a more elegant solution. On older buses, there's a yellow cord that runs along the top of the windows. You pull the cord, and it makes a little ding sound, and a stop requested sign lights up at the front.
A physical cord? Wow, that's old school.
It is. On the newer buses, they've replaced it with red buttons on the poles. But if you don't press the button or pull the string, the driver will just zoom right past your stop. It's a lesson every newcomer learns the hard way at least once.
Yeah, I bet. You'd end up miles from where you wanted to be.
Exactly. And the other thing is about seating. The first few rows of seats at the front of the bus, usually the ones that face sideways, are priority seating. They're reserved for elderly or handicapped passengers.
That makes sense. They're easiest to get to.
Right. And even if the bus is empty when you get on, it's considered good etiquette to avoid sitting there. You just leave them open because you never know who might get on at the next stop. If you do sit there, you have to be ready to jump up immediately if someone who needs the seat gets on.
So it's an unspoken rule.
It's a very strong unspoken rule.
Also, remember to avoid arguments with other passengers. Sometimes homeless people get on the bus to warm up in the winter or to beg for money. Avoid confrontation with them at all costs. Their lives are already hard. Just look out the window or stare at your phone.
Mm-hmm. That's good to know. It's those little cultural details that can make a trip so much smoother.
Absolutely. And being observant is key on the subway, too. I think you mentioned you had a story about that?
Oh, man. Yes, it's a bit of a scary one. This happened a few years back. I was heading home pretty late, maybe around 11 at night, on a subway ride through the Bronx.
Uh-oh, late night subway rides can be an adventure.
That's one word for it. So the car was pretty empty. Maybe 3 or 4 other people, all spread out and keeping to themselves. At one stop, the doors open and this very large, intimidating-looking guy gets on.
Oh, no!
And with him, he has not one but 2 big pit bulls, and they are not on leashes.
No leashes? On the subway? Wow.
No leashes. They just had these thick, heavy chain collars. The guy sits down, and the dogs just start roaming freely around the subway car. You could hear their claws clicking on the floor. The atmosphere in the car just changed instantly. Everyone tensed up.
I can only imagine. What did you do?
I did what everyone else did. I tried to become invisible. I just stared down at my phone, avoiding eye contact with the man, and especially with the dogs. But of course, that didn't work.
Oh, no.
One of the dogs, a huge brindle one, walks right up to me and starts sniffing my backpack, which was on the floor between my feet. And it wasn't a friendly, curious sniff. It was intense. My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my ears.
Oh, my gosh, that is terrifying.
It was. I just froze. Then the owner, without even looking at me, just grunts, "Don't worry, he is just hungry. He just wants the food." And I suddenly remembered I had a box of leftover pasta in my backpack from a restaurant earlier.
Of course. Perfect timing.
Right? The dog started nudging my bag with its nose, getting more and more insistent, making these little whining sounds. I honestly thought it was going to tear my bag open. I was trying to figure out if I should just give him the food.
So what happened?
Well, just then, I heard the announcement for my stop. It was the most beautiful sound I had ever heard. The second the doors opened, I shot up out of my seat, grabbed my bag, and basically ran off the train. I've never moved so fast in my life.
I don't blame you.
As the doors were closing, I glanced back. And the owner was just looking at me with this little smile on his face like he was enjoying the whole thing. It was so creepy.
That is a truly scary story. It's such a good reminder that you really have to be aware of your surroundings and the people you're sharing a space with.
Totally. My subway rides have been a lot more boring since then, and I am very grateful for that.
Well, on that slightly chilling note, I think that's all the time we have for today. So, what have we learned? Buses are great for sightseeing, but remember to request your stop. That's a great point. It's not just about safety, but also about navigating the social dynamics of a shared space. It brings to mind another classic subway experience, the performers.
Right. And subways are fast, but maybe leave your leftovers at home and always have an exit strategy. Oh, the showtime, guys! Yes, you're riding along, minding your own business, and suddenly a group of guys comes in and says, "What time is it? It's showtime," and starts doing acrobatics off the poles.
A perfect summary. Oliver, thank you so much for joining me and for sharing your knowledge and your harrowing tale.
It was my pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.
And to all our listeners, thank you for tuning in. We hope you picked up some useful tips. Remember to check out the vocabulary from this episode in the video description. We'll be back next time with another everyday English conversation. Until then, take care and happy travels.